Let that smoke rise high. Freeborn man, freeborn man. Hey, freeborn man, freeborn man.
Welcome back, brothers and sisters in smoke, to another fine installation of Liberty on Nicotine, where the ash is long, the opinions are strong, and the host humidor is still somehow never big enough. I'm your host, Trip, founder of Liberty Crack Media and part-time philosopher of the leaf. Today, we've got a special treat for you, an interview with a man who has turned Myrtle Beach into a two-stop pilgrimage site for cigar lovers. The one and only Dean Smith. Dean is the owner and resident ring gauge wizard behind the White Ash Cigar Lounges. If you've ever been there, you know. If you haven't, well, you're about to find out why his lounges are equal parts sanctuary, social club, and occasionally a therapy session with tobacco. So sit back, light up something worthy, and enjoy my conversation with Dean, a man who proves every day that cigars don't just pair with bourbon, they pair with good people.
Dean Smith with White Ash Cigar. I came here about a dozen years ago in the healthcare, senior healthcare industry. So, director of marketing and sales. I actually ran an independent company, community called Eagle Crest. It's changed names now, but just love the history, talking to these people. And of course, that age group, cigar guys. Yeah. So we started talking about cigars. And even though some of their children weren't happy with it, we would have cigar nights on the patio at the independent living community. Awesome. And that kind of led to I'd smoked cigars literally now for probably 35 or 40 years. But watching these guys take a sip of something, whether it's whiskey, rum, even tequila, and then having the right cigar with it, they had no idea that they kind of, if you pair them right, they will enhance each other. So if you got a really harsh is not the right word, a really strong cigar, maybe like a triple Maduro or a double Maduro, and that means the wrapper's Maduro, the long fill's Maduro, and the short fill's Maduro. I mean, that's a cigar you need to have a steak with, and then have the cigar, and then have something that's, in the Knob Creek or Buffalo Trace kind of, that medium blend, something that's, about 90 proof, so it's not got a real bite to it, and it'll really just set well with that cigar. And the other end of that spectrum is like, we've got a couple of bottles of Guatemalan rum that were donated. This stuff is just like sucking on sugar cane out of the fields. Man, it is sweet. Starts with a Z. I can't pronounce it. Not even going to try. It is available in the country. And we use, here's a cheap plug, Harrison's Liquors down the street. Will bring in anything I want him to bring in to do a tasting with. We're going to do a tasting with this. It's really, really sweet. What you want to do with really, really sweet is get something that's light, a Connecticut wrapper, shade grown, so you're not going to overwhelm that liquor or that sweetness with a cigar that's not, bitter's the wrong word, strong, or with more flavor, because we kind of rate cigars as mild, medium, and heavy, but it's all mild flavor, medium flavor, heavy flavor. I get people in here to look at a cigar, and because it's a Maduro wrapper or a dark Corojo wrapper, they'll say, I can't smoke that, that's too strong. No, it's not. Some of those can be, medium minus or medium plus, but you just got to know a little bit more about how it's built, why it's built, how long it's aged. Because you can look, we got Esteban Cabrera in here, which is one of my big vendors, and their Chupa Copper line, 10th anniversary. You look at it, you're thinking, I can't smoke this. I've been smoking, Monte Cristo Classics all my life. No, you're going to like this cigar better because it's got some more flavor in the first, call them the thirds, first third, middle third, final third. The first third of that 10th anniversary Chupa, you're going to actually taste some maybe chocolate, cocoa. It's going to go away, but that first third, you're going to get a different flavor than the middle third. And then the final third, you're going to get an even different flavor. And that goes for pretty much all cigars. If you get a cigar that starts and finishes the same, I don't think I've ever had one. There's always going to be some difference in there in the middle. But if you put the right liquor with it, it's even better. Even beer and wine. And we don't do a lot of beer and wine, but I've got a lady here in town that does a lot of wine and cigar pairings. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a wine guy, but I'm turning into one because a nice Cabernet with a nice light cigar, or just the opposite, a nice Chardonnay with a darker cigar, and you just kind of get those pairings. And honestly, it's something you don't go to school for. It's something if you want to learn, you can learn it. It's just all doing it. There's just books you can read about it. You can get your handheld computer out and Google it, and they're going to tell you. Everybody's palate's different. Your palate's different from mine. You may be a Knob Creek 12 guy. I might be a Basil Hayden dark rye guy, and that's just different palates. It's still whiskey. Same thing with cigars. I mean, my current customer base is let's call it aging out. All right, the 70 plus guys, and aging out's not a bad thing. Wife, doctor, daughter, somebody's told them to stop smoking cigars. Mm-hmm. I can't shake them and tell them to leave them alone. But I got a younger crowd coming in. And these younger crowd guys, like last night at the other store, we had 1, 2, 3, about 4 guys, all in that early mid 30s. Mm-hmm. Nice kids. But these are the guys. They're not really kids. They're grown ass men. Yeah. These are the guys that I need to get. So we're carrying some. Again, Esteban Cabrera. It's called Los Canos, and instead of treating Deadwood dips their sweet cigars, it's the tip. So just the tip is sweet. Esteban Cabrera treats these leaves before they're rolled. So this has got flavor, and it's not just sweet. It's got flavor all the way through it, and that's what these. Starting someone young in the cigar, they want to smoke cigars either. Uncle Steve, Pops, Grandpa, somebody smokes cigars in their circle. So they want to learn. So we're going to start them. But that cigar is dark. And you look at it and go, this is... But no, it is absolutely beginning. I don't say beginning because that's not... It's a way to start into the cigar world. Not expensive. It's $10 or less for whatever size you get. Mm-hmm. And we have what's called the bullet size. It's like a half a Corona. If they don't like it, you're out, $7, $8. I mean, it's a great way to start somebody and either go, that's too sweet, or it's not sweet enough. They say it's not sweet enough. You got to go to Nuance series from Oliva Nubs, single roast, double roast, triple roast. Those cigars are just full of coffee and chocolate, but they're real hand rolled cigars. Some companies, and nothing against machine rolled cigars, but a lot of flavored cigars are not hand rolled. They're machine rolled. Mm-hmm. That's why they burn so fast. Not packed well, not rolled, literally a machine. But we'll start them in something like that. If they don't want to be involved with a flavor, then we'll start them something with a nice light Connecticut wrapper. We got a lot in that area, including my house blend, which is all Nicaraguan, and the Connecticut is a Connecticut shade. The Havana is the middle cigar, and then the Maduro is a double Maduro. It's got Maduro long fill and a Maduro wrapper, but it's got a Havana short fill. But we'll move them, and that's kind of the progression. We'll start them out light, give them some more flavor with a Havana wrapper on a Oscuro wrapper, something like that, and then we'll get them into a nice Maduro, and that's when you can drink a cup of coffee and smoke a Maduro cigar, and at 9 in the morning, and people are going to think, your neighbors on the back porch are going to wonder what the hell's going on, but that's a great combination. And if you don't drink coffee, because I had to stop drinking coffee, is a tobacco or a Java, which is coffee, a sweet coffee flavor in it. And, have a juice. I don't know. But pairing any of those cigars really depends. It's all just kind of hit and miss, trial and error. And that's something about what's nice about these events is that I get a couple guys that gathered up before we have the event. We'll sit around this store, the other store, and we'll kind of go, hey, this works. No, that doesn't work. You get different, Fuente, in general, they have a little peppery flavor to all Fuentes. Yeah. You either love it or you don't, or you're in the middle. But that's going to have a nice sweet rum, or maybe like Basil Hayden dark rye, which is it's a sweet, not sweet rye, but it's a smoother rye. something to offset that pepperness, or a tequila. Fuente 858, bestseller, any of those cigars are going to go well with tequila. And now it's this whole tequila bloom, right?
Yeah.
Put a big bourbon cube in the glass, put some tequila in it. Now you got to buy $70, $80 tequila. You're not going to be able to pour Jose in a glass over ice and drink it with a cigar. But but that'll be our next one. I think probably December. We're going to skip. A lot of parties going on. It's hard to plan an event in December, but January we're going to start with rum. We'll do February probably tequila, because there's bourbon and Scotch tasting going on in the shop every day, because we're BYOB, so they bring it in. But we'll get to those. I'm not a big fan of Scotch, but we had a Scotch pairing at that store maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I became a Scotch guy because the guy that put it on knew Scotch. He's from Scotland. Mm-hmm. He's the previous owner of that store that I purchased this from. He's like, no, here's a nice blend that will get you started in the Scotch world. And then the other end of that is the stuff that smells like it came out of your front yard. It's got that real peaty, real earthy taste to it. I'm not there yet, but it's just like cigars. You kind of got to graduate your way up and down that ladder. But we're going to try to do one a month, switch them up a little bit. I've got so many guys that can come in and knowledgeably talk about wine, whiskey, bourbon. There is a difference, obviously, and then Scotch or tequila, or like in this case, rum. If you go to Central South America, that's all they drink down there is rum, and it's so sweet. We don't have the details yet, but in February we're going to go do the Esteban Carrera tour, which goes to Esteli, where the factory is, watch them roll cigars. All you do is smoke cigars, drink rum, and eat food. That's all you do for 3 days, like Wednesday to Sunday. It's just it's a wonderful, wonderful trip. We take, I don't know, maybe 6 people or 8 people from here in Myrtle, and then I'm partners with a gentleman up in Seneca, South Carolina, which is the newest White Ash cigar, next to Two Horse Distillery up there. And I think Kevin has probably got 4 guys up there, so it'll be an interesting trip. A lot of old, a lot of gray, a lot of rum, a lot of cigars, and a lot of food. And we'll probably need to take a couple of days off to recover when we get home.
Awesome. Well, give me a kind of a walkthrough for the newbie, because some of these young people are so hesitant to and intimidated to come into the humidor, into the cigar shop. And what would you say to these people, try to get them at ease when they arrive?
You know, the biggest gateway for us is a wedding. Yeah. So the groom comes in, or the best man comes in and says, hey, I want to buy cigars. I know nothing about cigars. I don't smoke cigars. So first of all, I want to sit down. I want you to teach me how to. Those are the easy ones, the ones that come to you and ask for help. Then you got the guys with the egos. They don't want to ask for help. The only cigars they've smoked are, on the golf course, or
Swisher Sweets.
At college, where they really weren't tasting the cigar. It was a accessory to whatever they were doing. But once you get them in, so you set them down and just, what's your favorite drink? You're a beer guy, you're a liquor guy, and if what kind of beer? Guinness all the way to Coors Light. Tell me what you're drinking, and that'll help me put you in a cigar.
Yeah, and like I tell them, it's not like going into a gun store where the guy wants to sit there and act like he is, very important. Everything that you touch is sacrosanct, and you could kill yourself. This is a place where you can come in, relax, talk to people, experience it. And that's what cigars are. It's
exactly.
Experience.
Well, it's a community, and, this store's just turned 3 years old here since we remodeled and put it together. But, this is a tourist area, so we get more out-of-towners. Yeah. Some of them don't sit. A lot of them are to go. A lot of the golfers are hit and run back and forth. But the other shop where I got locals, 80% locals, 20% not. These guys, if they're set in their way, I bring a new cigar in. I brought a line in from El Septimo. It's their Costa Rican cigars. And it's a brand that's been in Europe for years and years and years and years. They just hadn't introduced them here for some reason. And that's kind of the opposite of what's going on in the cigar world a little bit. A lot of companies that only serve North America, they went to Europe last year, 2 years ago. Now they're selling cigars over there. Because Europe, when you go to Europe, you just think about Cubans, because you can buy Cubans. So everybody, I think as manufacturers, Oliva, Fuente, well, not Fuente, Oliva, some of these Padron, some of these other companies were reluctant to try the European market. But hey, even a Cuban in Paris, a decent Cuban's $100, where Oliva, Melanio, Figurado, and Maduro Natural, either one, it's going to be $30.
Yeah.
And that's a great cigar. So you're going to get a great cigar for $30, or you're going to take a shot at being a real Cuban for 120 bucks. 'Cause we all heard those stories, right? Vape guys and gals. These are my number one objective this year is to turn, next year is to turn, get them out of those vapes. Vapes are so dangerous, so bad for you. They create this thing, popcorn lungs. There's so many reasons not to. And they don't necessarily inhale. Some do, some don't. Depends on what they're back on. But that's the biggest obstacle. You get a cigarette smoker or a vapor that, or, God's cabbage smoker. They're inhaling. You don't want to do that with a cigar. You'll do it once. And have to break that habit. No matter how many times you tell them not to do it, the first puff, they're inhaling it. But because it's it's nicotine delivery, don't get me wrong, whether it's a cigarette, a vape, or a cigar, but a cigar never leaves your mouth.
Yeah, you get it through your saliva. You don't get it through your breath.
And if you learn how to retrohale, you're going to get more flavors out of any cigar. That's kind of let's say it's not an advanced thing, but it's not a beginner's thing, dude. That's where you blow the smoke through your nose. The last little bit of smoke, just pop it through your nose. If there's a flavor in that tobacco, you're going to get it. Because you got so much more sensory in your nose than you do your mouth.
Absolutely.
And then especially if you smoke, I'm a Maduro guy, so if I get up in the morning and I pop a Maduro in my face, then I've ruined my palate for the entire day, except for Maduros.
Yeah.
So, smart, and I got a couple of smart, and I'm going to call them old guys, and because we might bust the occasional ball at the cigar shop, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I said, hey, I see you smoking in Connecticut at 11 in the morning, and then by the time it gets to the evening time, and I have guys that are there that long, they're stepped up to a nice Corojo, dark Corojo, or a nice Maduro wrapper, San Andreas, or something, because they're building that palate, because they learned the hard way.
Yeah.
You get out of bed, and one of my house blends is a Figurado Perfecto. It's a little, we call it the naked pig, because when we first blended that cigar, it had a label on it that said White Ash Pig. And then the process of labeling a cigar, it adds 2, 3, 4 weeks to an order.
Yeah.
So I stopped it. It came in. I look, it's a naked pig. So now, plus that's what my wife calls me. You start with one of those Maduros in the morning, you're done for the day. You're going to be smoking Maduros the rest of the day because you're not going to taste anything after that 10 o'clock Maduro. So I'm really trying really hard. This store doesn't open till noon, but even at the other store, I try really hard not to smoke a cigar till noon. Yeah. I'm going to be there, like tonight's Monday Night Football, so we'll be there till, 11:30. And last night, we weren't there that late. We didn't have anybody show up for the game last night. But we do kind of cater to NFL. And Sunday nights are tough because Sunday's kind of a family day. They're not going to spend the day, and then about 8 o'clock leave to go smoke a couple cigars and watch football. Yeah. Monday night, Thursday night, just the opposite. We're usually pretty full over in the river. But back to pairings in general, it's all palate to palate. So that's why we want to provide minimum of 2 types of rum or whiskey, and then maybe 3. It just really depends. It's easier just to do 2 because it's not confusing.
Yeah.
And once the guy gets maybe 3 samples of 3 different whiskeys in him, he's not tasting anything anymore anyway.
Yeah,
he's
that's
done.
True.
So we're gonna try to hold it to 2. I know we've done Knob Creek's one of my personal favorites, and Knob Creek 12, and Esteban Cabrera Cashmere, which is a Connecticut shade blend. Great combination. And it's just because this, again, you don't want polar opposites, but you want to have some flavored differences between the whiskey or the liquor and the cigar. But it's all. I mean, I got a guy that brings in an entire jug of Craig Evans.
Oh yeah, Craig Evans. Yeah.
I mean, this is not expensive whiskey. No. God bless him. He buys a handle when he buys it. But you want to when you get a whiskey like that that's on the milder side, less expensive side, then buy a good cigar. Buy Padron. Buy Placencia. Buy something that's going to offset that. It's not bad. I mean, I was a Jim Beam guy forever and ever. But now you start discovering, just like cigars, whiskeys that you don't need to put anything in. It's just a piece of ice. But pairing is a personal thing. So what we try to do is kind of make it broad enough where they smoke the cigar and, that didn't work for me. Well, the next flight is going to be this cigar and this rum. So.
And that, my friends, was Dean Smith, tobacconist, lounge owner, and the only man I know who can recommend the perfect cigar for you, based solely on how stressed you look walking into the door. If you're ever in the Myrtle Beach area, or if you need a good excuse to pretend you're accidentally in the Myrtle Beach area, swing by one of the 2 White Ash Cigar Lounges. Grab a stick, grab a seat, and introduce yourself to Dean. Tell him that you heard him right here on Liberty and Nicotine podcast. He might even crack a smile or at least pour you something into a glass if you look thirsty enough. As always, thanks for tuning in, puffing along, and supporting the show where liberty meets leaf. Until next time, may your burn lines be straight, your draws be easy, and your neighbors not complain about the aroma of freedom drifting across their porch. This is Trip signing off. Stay smoky.
Well, I like one up when the sun goes down. Kick my boots on the edge of town. I ain't begging nobody for permission to breathe. This smoke's my banner in the land of the free. They say it ain't right, they say it ain't clean, but I ain't never fit in their machine. I puff that leaf from a Cuban seed and laugh at the rules they think I need. 'Cause this cigar says, see, I'm my own man, ain't buying what I don't understand. Got a little fire and a free-born plan. I'm a renegade built by my own 2 hands. Yeah, let that smoke rise high and wide. It's liberty smell when it's by my side. No boardroom boss, no government plan, just a good cigar and a free-born man. Now Wall Street hustles and Main Street rolls, but I deal my hand and I call my goals. I'll take that blend of each spice and fire with a matchstick spark that lights my ride. This ain't rebellion, it's just pride. There ain't no chains on this countryside. You can keep your trends and plastic lives. I'll take my leaf where the rim spirit thrives. 'Cause this cigar says I'm my own man. 3 lines as written. I ain't selling virtue, I ain't buying chain. I just live my life and I sign my name. Every puff's a contract with the land between a dream and a working man's hand. So roll that leaf and he passed that flame to the ones who never play their game. We'll stand up tall and take our stand with a good man.